Welcome everyone to this special episode of the Caravan Tour of Terror, a show that finds us touring the globe through the medium of horrific, chilling and disturbing entertainment. My name's Donald and I'm the driver on this quest. Joining me at my side, as always, with a road atlas on his lap and a bumper selection of delayed Halloween viewing is my navigator Ali. Say hello, Ali.
Happy Halloween! It's December.
Happy Christmas. So this is a bit late, bit unstructured. We watched, we did it last year as well. We watched 9 films over the Halloween weekend, which for us was the middle of November. And we're here to talk about them in December.
Yep.
And it's been a few weeks. And this is just a chat. So if we misremember something, no one panic. It's fine. I did rate the films when we watched them. And if I go, I'm looking at all these ratings now, and if that doesn't feel right, I might fucking change it. Who cares? Eh?
Yeah.
Who cares?
I didn't rate them at the time because I found out about a week after that we were going to do this.
We did it last year. Fucking
I know. It was November.
Your memory is failing lately. So, first movie we watched. I'll introduce the films, Alistair, so don't you worry. You sit back and relax. Just straight IMDb synopsis. So, and I'm sure we won't spoil anything too heavily, will we? Nah, we won't. We'll avoid spoilers. Okay. Is Watcher. So, they're mostly, I'm just going to check. They're mostly 2022. There's one film from 2011, one film 2015. All right. So, Watcher, a young American woman moves with her husband to Bucharest and begins to suspect that a stranger who watches her from the apartment building across the street may be a local serial killer decapitating women. Watcher. Remember Watcher?
I do remember Watcher.
Okay, so Watcher was the film we could have done for Romania, but it came out just slightly too late.
Yep.
We were already there.
I think it came out a week after we released our Romania episode.
Yes, and it's a gosh darn movie set in, well, I don't know if it's filmed in Romania, but it's sure is set in Romania, and it's got the Romanian language in it, so that might have been a bit of a better pick for us.
Yeah, it is. It was set and filmed in Romania. In Bucharest. Yes.
Yeah. Watcher. So, something to know going in, which I'm glad I knew, was there are no subtitles for the Romanian language in this film because the main character doesn't speak Romanian, and it's a big part of her character that she feels isolated in a new place.
Yep.
So that might annoy the fuck out of you because on the internet it does annoy the fuck out of people, which is fair enough, I guess. And they're kind of missing the point, in my opinion, but it might be something that just turns you off.
Totally. I can understand why it would be annoying, but I quite liked it. It isolates you along with Julia, played by Micah Monroe. You might know her from It Follows and I think the last Independence Day movie.
You've got a very good memory.
What?
Oh, you just off the cuff. You remember who's in it, what else she was in, who directed it?
I remember 2 people that are in it. That one, the 2 facts I actually do remember off the cuff was Micah Monroe is in it. Because she's become like a kind of 2020 or 2010s, 2020s scream queen, doing a lot of horror movies. She was also in The Guest. Excellent movie. Love that movie.
Yep.
With Blue Eyes himself.
Do you remember his name?
Yeah, Dan Stevens.
Yeah.
Big Danny. Don't have that in front of me either. And also has Burn Gorman in it, from Torchwood, Game of Thrones, The Dark Knight fame. I really like Burn Gorman as an actor. I don't think he gets enough work.
I have no opinion of him.
Yeah, that's fair. No one's asking you to, all right?
What was he in? He was in a TV show, wasn't he?
Torchwood.
Oh, is it just Torchwood I'm thinking of? Because I've not seen Torchwood, so...
Oh, really? He was in Game of Thrones.
He's in The Expanse. That might not be a season I've watched, though.
Oh. So what do you know him from?
I don't know. Just he's got a weird face, which
Pacific Rim, Enola Holmes.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's the British scientist that gives the experiment to Charlie.
Yes. The smart pill.
What the fuck is that riff on? It's gone right out of my head now. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yes, that's literally the main thing I know him from. I'd say I picture him with the accent in the lab coat. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So Watcher.
Watcher, yeah. So what will I do first? Will I give my rating at the end?
Always.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
We talk about it and then give your rating.
Watcher was, I thought, a pretty good start. It's one of these towing the line of not really being a horror movie, but it does kind of earn that over the course of it. But it's quite a psychological thriller most of the time. The main character, the whole isolation thing is done okay, but I felt like me and the other people watching this movie were all a bit like, you're not doing yourself that many favors.
Yeah, and I'm pretty much on the same boat as you, where like, say the first third to half of the movie, I really sympathized with the main character, but as she goes on, and this movie does take place over a decent amount of time. And it's like she makes no attempt to learn Romanian.
Yeah.
She makes no attempt to integrate herself. She makes no attempt to go out and actually explore the culture. Like, it's very like you're sitting going, "Come on, love. Like, I know that it's tough, but you're really not trying here."
Now, one thing I wasn't sure of was it seemed like her husband was Romanian, but I was always like, maybe they're just here for a temporary amount of time. But I can't actually remember if we figured out if they were permanently moved there or not. But it seemed like once you start getting freaked out about certain things that happen, if it was temporary, she would have just gone home. So I guess, yes, it's probably...
Well, I will point out that we both know a person that moved to another country that speaks another language for a temporary amount of time, and he still got absolutely ripped apart for not even attempting to learn the local language. So if I'm going to do that with a real person that I actually know, I'm going to do it with a character in a movie.
But it was okay. It was all right. It's okay. Would I watch it again? No. I rated this a 6. So, you know.
Yeah. As you said, it was a good opener. I think that it does earn its horror tag. It is, you know, it's like fucking Along Came a Spider or stuff like that, but better. It is very much, you know, you're not going to get ghosts and goblins and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it's more creepy than scary. You're supposed to be a bit like, ooh.
It's dread, a lot of dread in it.
Yeah. I mean, the character's dread, though, yeah. I mean, it's towing the line. I'm not going to say it anymore.
And I'll probably agree with your 6.
Yay.
And again, it's one of those... where I feel that a 6 might be too harsh, but also I can't get a 7.
Yeah, no. If it had done a wee bit more, I definitely remember us all feeling that it kind of flagged pace-wise as well, 3/4 of the way through. Like, it fell into a rhythm, and it just kind of kept that rhythm for a wee bit too long. And we were all a bit like, all right, you know, move on, please. Give us a new wee thing.
It's a 90-minute movie,
exactly.
so it's not like...
Yeah, you shouldn't feel like that, really. So
yeah.
Just a few little things dragged it down, but still, it's fine. It's fine.
Totally. It's one of those things I found with... you know, we've had a few movies that, despite them being relatively short in length, we're like, oh, come on,
time
get
check.
it going. I'm generally against time checks in movies, but you and the other people we are watching with love them, adore them for some reason.
I think it's good to know. That's just a personal opinion. I think it's good to, if you feel it's flagging and you're like 20 minutes left, you can be like, relax. If there's 50 minutes left, fucking hell.
I prefer to do that like I was in the cinema, where it's like, regardless of how, that is part of my experience in the movie.
Listen, if you're calling for a time check, there's probably something a bit wrong anyway.
And my go-to for movies that keep their good pacing and don't worry too much about how long they are as a movie is Host. Host is 1 hour, not like just and it does exactly what it needs to do. There's slow moments, there are quicker paced moments. Like, you don't need to pad your movie, especially these days where a lot of these movies are going on to streaming services straight away.
Yeah,
I get when it was in the cinema where you want to have your money's worth. But with this case, it's very much like, this is going on Shudder or Arrow or Amazon, and you don't need to pad your movie.
Yeah, which we actually don't see enough, to be honest. There's not a lot of other movies that are like, we'll be fucking an hour, whatever, you deal with it.
No, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why that Host is literally the only example I can think of where that. But I mean, it does it unabashedly.
Yeah, but there's a couple of other movies we've watched that went straight onto streaming, which we'll get to. In fact, it'll be in the fucking description of the episode, so that's stupid.
Yeah.
Right, that's Watcher, I guess. Next up was Pearl.
This was definitely one that we were all kind of.
I was going to do the synopsis before we started talking about it.
Very sorry. Very sorry.
Fucking hell. From 2022, unless I say otherwise. In 1918, a young woman on the brink of madness pursues stardom in a desperate attempt to escape the drudgery, isolation, and lovelessness of life on her parents' farm. Continue.
Yeah, Pearl was definitely one of the ones we were most looking forward to. We had recently watched X.
Of which this is a prequel.
Yes. Same person, Mia Goth playing.
She played two characters in X. So Pearl is the younger version of one of the characters she played in X.
Yep. What did you think, Donald?
It was very good, I thought. So it's like it's your descent into a wee bit of madness, it's not a spoiler, because if you've seen X, then you know that Pearl's not going to have a very good life, so I'm all right saying that. And she does have a pretty miserable existence, but she's also, from the get going throughout, you can tell. I mean, even if you hadn't seen X, she's no right, this one. She's really no quite right, and she's got big ideas and dreams, and fucking hell, I hate people that think they're going to go a place in movies and then it might not work out, or otherwise. I'm just saying. And things just slowly start unraveling in her life, and you can watch. I would watch X first, then watch this one, and I'd recommend them both. I gave this an 8, but that's mainly because of Mia Goth's performance. Otherwise, it would have been a 7 or maybe even a 6. But the further it goes on, she's very committed to what she's doing, and she's very convincing. And that there's a shot near the end which is ridiculous, and I think it helped that we just watched interviews with Mia Goth and realised that she was a posh-spoken English woman. I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah, you guys had really, because I hadn't watched those interviews and had never heard her real voice before these movies. I've seen it since, or heard it since, and
it's
man,
very crazy.
She can put on an accent.
No, I mean, yeah, but also it's even just, I don't know, her whole energy is very good in this film.
Yeah. She does a really good job. I imagine she's probably a wee bit weird in real life.
That is slander, sir, and that is not the official stance of this podcast. It's the official stance of you.
I mean,
as an individual.
It's not slander, because I said I imagine. Trust me, I've looked enough into slander to know what I can get away with, sir.
I called that guy from Torchwood weird looking.
Yeah, slanderous. But yeah, no. But I think that kind of slightly weirdness plays in well with the type of character she tends to play. That she might be drawn to that kind of role, but she does a fantastic job. She did a great job in X, great job here.
Yeah,
and I'm sure she'll do a great job in the next one.
Yeah, I was just about to say there's a sequel, isn't there?
Yes, I believe it's going to be 1980s.
I don't know. A third bite at this apple. I mean, they got away with it twice.
Twice?
Yeah, it's brave of them. But I mean, Ty West just seems to do whatever the fuck he likes, and sometimes it works out. So
yeah.
And I really like Ty West.
I mean, House of the Devil is a movie you raved about for a long time.
Yeah. I think he's very good, and it's nice that these movies seem to be getting quite a lot of recognition. Like, you see stuff about them around and things like that. So
yep,
bit of mainstream success potentially, dare I say. I have absolutely no idea how much money this made or anything like that, but it just seems like he's
well, I can tell you right now.
Off the top of your head.
Yeah, off the top. I just know it off the top of the head. is one I was surprised by is what you can make for $1 million.
Yeah.
That's all the budget was for this.
Yeah. Well, they filmed them back to back, so and I assume that's probably keeping costs right down because it would have been the same set, blah blah blah. Same actress in 3 roles. Well, 2 roles, but sorry, 2 roles. Sorry, but yes.
Yes, this was a COVID movie, and it's very handy that it's set during the influenza pandemic of 1918 because everyone's wearing masks.
Yeah.
In the public scenes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it made just over $9 million.
Nice.
9 times its budget.
And I'm sure it'll make a lot more on streaming and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, totally.
So you'd think, because they've definitely both got really positive word of mouth. So good luck to him, sir. I say.
Yep. As we're both Ty West fans, and hey, if he's getting a wee bit more recognition, that's no bad thing.
Yeah.
I would probably I'm swithering between a 7 and an 8 just through personal enjoyment. I think I'm kind of similar in that her performance is an 8, but the movie's a 7.
Yeah. Cool. That seems fair enough, I'd say. Next up was Hellhouse LLC. Now this is from 2015 because it's one that passed us by, and it was pointed out that it's actually got quite good buzz behind it. You know, quite good write-ups and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's funny. I've never, honestly, don't remember ever hearing about this movie. So 5 years after an unexplained malfunction causes the death of 15 tourgoers and staff on the opening night of a Halloween haunted house tour, a documentary crew travels back to the scene of the tragedy to find out what really happened. Hellhouse LLC. Do you remember anything about this movie?
Vague outline, and
sweet. So Hellhouse LLC is your pretty common garden found footage movie. It's the real thing behind it is what if one of these Halloween haunted house things was built in an actual fucking haunted house? So you get your, stuff moving in the background. There's a lot of shadowy figures like in rooms, and then a main character will say, "Hey, Steve, put your cock away." Then Steve will walk in from the other side and be like, "Steve?"
With his cock out.
Yeah, because he's always got his cock out. It's, it's one of them. I think this is one you probably don't need to remember that much because it's just one of them. It's fine.
I think
if you
that
don't
is
like clowns, stay away.
I do think that might be part of why I don't remember a lot from it, because I don't remember, I don't remember not enjoying it.
Yeah.
I remember having a decent time with it.
Yeah.
But it is, as you said, very bog standard in that format. And there is at least one other, haunted house-esque movie that we watched in this stretch that we will talk about later.
Yeah,
but I think it was just it fit very well for what we were doing.
Sorry, that I was probably cited a bit derivative because I mean, really, there's fucking 100,000 found footage movies that are like this, and this is definitely on the good side of all of those. It's totally fine. It's good. Rent it, don't buy it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Pirate it, don't buy it. No, Ali, that's Ali's thoughts, not mine. It's totally fine. I gave it a 6. I do remember it had little flashes of and it's definitely a couple of jumps, definitely a couple of scares. You watch it with pals, watch it on Halloween, and then forget it ever exists, and don't watch the sequels because apparently they're absolute dog shit.
Yeah, it is very much like you won't be upset that you watched it, but it's not going to be one that you have to seek out.
Yeah, if you watch 9 movies in a weekend, you won't fucking remember it. Apparently.
yeah, exactly.
Oh dear. So that's Hellhouse LLC. We'll move on.
I am not going to give it a rating because I don't think that would be fair.
Well, funnily enough, you should say that because next on the lineup was VHS 99, and I've not given that a rating because I don't fucking remember much of it. I remember I'm gonna let's have a look here. Sorry, you will have to edit this out. I'm sorry, or maybe not. I mean, just keep it Gonzo or Dogma 95, whatever the fuck. It's fine. It's all off the cuff, baby. I'm just getting the. I just realized that I don't have it actually rated, so it's not on my list. So VHS 99 is obviously an anthology horror movie, like all the others. It doesn't have an overarching.
It doesn't have something that ties them all together.
Yeah,
there is one segment,
a framing story.
Exactly. There is one story that reappears throughout the movie, but it does not connect them all or have any sort of.
I think I was
around
asleep by that point, so unfortunately I didn't get to see what connected them all.
I didn't realize you fell asleep during one of these.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because I was reading these back and I was like, man, I remember the first one, I remember the second one, and then the third one, I really remember half of that. And I really don't remember the next two. So I think I fell asleep in the middle of Ozzy's Dungeon. So let's just talk quickly about them. So Shredding is about a punk band and like a haunted venue. That's just from memory, bitch. And it was fine. And the framing device, is bizarre toy soldiers getting played with stop motion, which did absolutely fuck all for me. But I didn't see the payoff, so I can't really criticize it much.
Yes, it does actually turn into something else.
Yeah, but so I didn't see that. The punk band thing was okay. It's fine. It's definitely not one of the stronger segments VHS have ever done, but it was fine. They've done much shitter ones. The next one was a sorority hazing gone wrong.
Yep.
It's basically a girl getting buried alive as a prank. And the
prank goes wrong.
And it was... I mean, the coffin was clearly fucking... I don't know. I didn't feel as claustrophobic as it could have done. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it didn't have space for all the spookies to happen, so it's a bit like a huge fucking box.
Yeah, totally. If you want a good, a better version of this, funnily, Guillermo del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosities has a short, not sorority, but there are certain aspects of it that are similar and do it much better.
Yeah, haunted graveyard kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why it came to my mind as well. Which probably didn't do this any favors, but there you go. And then carry on, because I don't remember the rest.
Yep, Ozzy's Dungeon.
No.
So Ozzy's Dungeon is basically it's a game show host. It's a children's game show where they do kind of like demeaning things to earn a wish, and years later they kidnap the host and put him through a version
torture.
of
Was it good?
It was not bad. It was Stephen Ogg plays the game show host, and my God, the things that this man does for his roles. He is Trevor from Grand Theft Auto 5. He's also been in a numerous. He's a character actor in a lot of like TV shows. I think he does a great job. Both being the kind of overly saccharine but creepy game show host, as well as the later version of him that's the kind of washed up, like, I used to be on TV. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
It goes weird at the end, as most VHS shorts do. But yeah, I thought that was not bad. Definitely one of the more memorable of the.
That's a shame.
Of all of the
Right, we'll move swiftly on to the Gawkers. So that was the Toy Soldiers payoff.
Yes, so the Toy Soldiers payoff. The Toy Soldiers is basically nothing. It is just like 10, 15 second segments to kind of chop up the different segments. It goes places where it's so it breaks away from the Toy Soldiers, and it's the younger brother using the camera, and then the older brother takes it, and they find that the girl across the road is really hot and they want to film her, and then
it's a boner comedy. 99. Very good.
Boner horror. And they try and convince the younger brother to go and put spyware on her computer, so that because he forms a connection, and they're like, "How did you get the connection? You're just a dork." And things go from there. Again, like every VHS, it turns weird at the end.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was also thinking, like, 99 was like spyware and webcams that prevalent.
Webcams would have been like the photos that get taken every 15 seconds, right? It would have been continuous footage. But maybe that's all they wanted, to have a little wank. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm just meaning from the actual production side, it seemed a bit like...
Was it pushing it a wee bit?
Aye, yeah, I felt that. Of its realism and its technology.
They always do that. They can never quite stick to the year they're given. They always have weird anachronisms in it. All right.
Yeah, and I mean, we were fine with that with, was it the 80s one?
I was very easy with it. Oh, sorry, yes. What do you think of the Gawkers, then? The
Gawkers, it's... I thought the payoff was not bad, but nothing special.
Yeah.
I thought it was totally fine.
Yeah. Well, I won't say what the payoff is. I'm looking at Wikipedia, and they've done payoffs like that before numerous times, I feel. Or maybe that's just because these films also get wrapped up in other films of this, like Southbound and things like that. And it's like, I feel like at this point, just reading that synopsis, you've seen all of that before, surely the fuck.
Yes.
There's definitely...
I'm not going to say it because I think it would give too much away, but there's one specific VHS segment, and the handy thing is there's about 40 of them now. But there's one specific segment that I'm like, this is basically that, but in a different framing.
Yeah. Finally, To Hell and Back.
So I actually like this one was fun. It's silly.
I had a feeling this might be the best one because sometimes they do that.
Yeah.
Or
I'm not going to go
stronger
too
ones. Give a good one at the start, good one at the end. That's what I tend to do with these things. And the middle's all fucking
yeah. Because that's what you're going to remember the most is your opener and your closer.
Yeah.
It's videographers get hired to by a coven of witches to film their ritual. And to be honest, I don't want to this is the one I don't want to go too much into.
Yeah.
It goes super bonkers, super weird, but in a really fun way. It's got a bit of humor in it and does quite well with that humor.
Yeah.
It doesn't take itself too seriously, which, to be honest, a lot of VHS, the ones that especially fall flat, tend to take themselves far too seriously. And yeah, this one was just fun. It was just fun. And funnily enough, one of the people into Hell and Back was one of the stars of one of the later movies.
Oh.
Because we were watching the later movie going, she looks familiar. And we'd seen her the day before.
Well, I wasn't saying anything. So, VHS 99, what would you... I remember, these anthology movies are quite forgettable in general. So VHS 94, I remember we were really pissed off by the surrounding framing narrative as being terrible, but there was one really good short, and the rest were like, all right. And I think that's what I remember. And I think both our favorites was the first one, which was, it did the most with the setting, because it was like it was for me anyway, the news report. Do you remember going to the sewers?
Yeah.
I think we both felt that it really did a lot with. It felt like it was 94, and it was a freaky cool story. So 99.
That was Well, that was what I was going to say with 94. Yeah. Like it's the way it pushes its technology was way more forgivable.
Yeah.
Because there's some like 94. It has like the robot one.
Yeah, that's just totally fuck it. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But it was fun. Like it worked. Yeah. Your suspension of disbelief could be a bit lifted.
Yeah.
I probably enjoyed 94 more. The white supremacist vampire one was great.
Yeah.
But in fact, 94 was pretty strong all the way through.
It was a big step back in the right direction.
Oh, hugely.
So
Because I actually went back and watched VHS 1, and it doesn't hold up.
No.
Like, and it's not just like, it is very much a product of its time.
Yeah.
And I'm not like, there are certain actions and themes that go into it that just don't hit the same way these days. But definitely 94 I probably would have given a 6 or 7. This one is probably, I will give it a 5 because there was enough in it that I enjoyed that I wasn't annoyed by my time with it, but not enough to make it any sort of positive
It's
review.
still probably going to be middle of the road to higher in terms of VHS anthologies, though, isn't it? Even with a 5, it's probably going to be
I mean,
probably...
viral we loathe.
Yeah, I think
VHS
viral is probably a 2.
properly loathe.
Okay, that's fine. I will have to go back and watch it because it's terrible of me that I fell asleep. Anyway, so that was wrapping up with, to be fair to me, that was probably about 2 in the morning, so that probably had something to do with it.
You were hosting.
You didn't even notice.
I didn't, because I was watching the movie, Donald.
Next day, we opened with Hellraiser.
Yes.
Obviously, 2022's Hellraiser. A take on Clive Barker's 1987 horror classic where a young woman struggling with addiction comes into possession of an ancient puzzle box, unaware that its purpose is to summon the Cenobites. Hellraiser. No, it's not Disney's Hellraiser here. It's so annoying that all the Hulu movies come on Disney for us, but this one didn't.
No.
I had to fucking pay money for this, for fuck's sake. So, I'm a big fan of the original Hellraiser, even though it's dated terribly in some instances. Some of the big scary creature effects are terrible, but I like the theme of it, and even the second one and the whole Leviathan being the devil thing was cool. I always think Leviathan, if you don't know, is like a big obelisk that floats in space, and like not space, but floats in the sky above like a maze, and that's kind of what hell is supposed to be, but it's because it's so like unfeeling and abstract. I also, that was a really cool take on what is ostensibly the devil. So this movie, it kind of combines 1 and 2 in a way, so it gives you quite a lot of lore, but it is a remake. It's not one of these legacy sequel prequel things. It is a straight up remake. You don't need to watch the others at all. It goes into so it goes into lore a bit heavier from the start. That kind of combines 1 and 2 a wee bit. It's got some, it's not scary, it's more going for gore mostly, isn't it, than jumpy scary.
Definitely.
It's not really creepy. It's more just about, weird, sexy gore, which is what Hellraiser's about. So that's all right. It's 2 fucking hours.
It is 2 hours.
And it does this thing which, for some reason, it just reminds me of Evil Dead, because it's like, what will we do? We'll give our heroine a drug problem.
Yes, so I was also going to bring this up, and that it just seems to be a weird trend in some horror movies recently that we'll give the main character, usually a woman, make her a recovering drug addict, because it means that any weird shit she sees, we can dismiss out of hand.
Yes.
As if
any behavior can be chalked up to
As if you turned to me and said, like, I'm seeing demons, I'd be like, your drug problem's coming back. Like, no, I would dismiss you out of hand anyway.
You'd section me probably, and
exactly.
I'd be glad of the sectioning. So what is this movie's actually, it seems quite, to me, it feels quite faithful to the originals. All they did was kind of lean into lore from the off a bit harder, try to give it a bit more structure, because Hellraiser 1 is basically just a weird love story, and it's got fucking demons in it, but they don't really do a lot. They have to flesh that out with sequels. So this one's like, no, we'll give you lots of lore up front, and it's fine. It didn't seem offensive to me compared to the Candyman remake sequel, which I did not enjoy because I liked the first Candyman, and the Candyman remake sequel is an awkward remake sequel. It doesn't want to be one or the other. It's both at the same time. This is a remake. so they can change stuff. That's fine. Hellraiser's a woman now. Get over it. It's fine. The one thing I didn't like actually was a lot of the Cenobite designs seemed quite samey, because the Pinhead is supposed to be dressmaker pins rather than it's not nails. But I feel like other ones also had those kind of things, and a lot of the flesh that was like wrapped around them, they go for like more of a leathery flesh kind of being draped over them rather than straight up S&M sometimes. I don't know. I don't think the new designs did a lot, and that's why they had to bring back Chatterer.
Good old Chatterer.
But it was okay.
So I felt that they put too many Cenobites in it.
Yeah.
I think that was the main problem with that part, is that there was like the main ones that appear have decent, distinct looks to them. But then they just throw in a few extras because, well, we don't want it to be the main one that does this part. We want it to be this one, like, or we just put this throwaway one. And I'm like, see if they just stuck to like 3. I think they would have used that a lot better. Yeah, but
the others don't really have any personality. Pinhead has personality, and the others are really just lackeys. And one of them really is...
One of them is ridiculous. One of them is like, in terms of its lackiness of... it's not a spoiler. It gets caught in something.
That's what I was trying to think
exactly,
about
and that's why I wanted. And it seems a bit like...
I think that the Cenobite design for that one was, how can we get one to get stuck in something without killing everyone? Much. How can we possibly do that? Because they're demons. They're very powerful beings, essentially. They don't really show off a lot, to be honest, in a lot of this film. And
there are a few really good moments with that stuff, but no, it doesn't go as far as it could. But overall, I enjoyed this. I think it's a touch too long. But it doesn't waste too much time. It is not one where we were sitting going, this is just dragging. But there's definitely, I mean, we are pretty brutal editors when we're watching movies of like, oh yeah, we could chop this.
And to be fair, it introduces kind of like, so in Hellraiser 1, there was always like a door in the wall opens and Christ, you're looking right at hell. And in this one, it's like how the Cenobites come and get you. It's quite creepy. It's quite effective. It's like they're gonna fucking get you, mate. So you've done fucked up until they get caught, and it all goes a bit wrong. Anyway, I gave it a 6 out of 10. Fair.
I would probably push it to 7. I enjoyed this. I again, touch too long, but a lot of the weird shit I thought was done pretty damn well. Especially Goran Visnich, which I'm not going to say what of his, but there's just a certain point, and I think it's pretty cool. And very, very Hellraiser.
It was. I might be being harsh at it, but it is directed by old David Bruckner, who did The Night House. And when we reviewed The Night House, I was like, he's doing Hellraiser, woo! And in the end, it turned out to be, he's done Hellraiser. Okay. I don't hate it. It's fine.
I think what you were hoping for is a David Bruckner's Hellraiser, and it was more a director for hire.
It was. So,
because the Night House is very much, this is his movie. This one seems more, hey, we'll get this guy in, he's done good work. He might add some touches that we will enjoy, but overall he's making this movie.
Yep. I have no idea if this is getting a sequel or what, since it was shot out onto Hulu. So
I hope it does. Unsurprisingly, as a franchise film, it does set itself up for a sequel. But no, I hope I hope it does at least get something else, even if it turns out to be shit and then dies. I would like to just see one more of genuinely of where it goes.
Well, I don't think Davy Brooks is coming back for 2 if they make a 2. If I had to guess, and then that's when stuff tends to come off the fucking rails, but we'll see. Well, that was Hellraiser. Next up was the second old movie in our lineup, Absentia. from 2011. A woman and her sister begin to link a mysterious tunnel to a series of disappearances, including that of her own husband. We watched Absentia because it's directed by Mike Flanagan.
Yep.
And we'd never seen it.
No, never seen it. It was his first movie.
Yeah, it's very low budget. I mean, it's really, if you don't have a tolerance for low budget movies, steer well fucking clear, because it's one step above college graduation levels of money. They don't have a lot, but he does a lot with the tiny amounts they have. I mean, genuinely, there's some definite spooks in it, and there's some definite spooks in it. They go a weird way with the horror element of it, which I didn't enjoy. And I really can't talk about it much without spoiling it, so I won't spoil it. But it involves pushing their budget or just showing their limitations. They couldn't do one, so they had to do the other, and I wish they hadn't bothered. I wish they'd, because the central spook in it that's there for most of it is very effective with just editing and loud noises.
Yeah, no, totally.
But it looks creepy. Worked fine.
Yeah, they definitely do well with the less is more here.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, there's definitely an aspect, and I mean, we've watched a wide variety of budgets. And even we were kind of like,
we were worried at the start.
We're watching this because we want to watch it.
Yeah.
There were moments in that where we're like, this budget is showing.
Yeah, we were. I was definitely concerned when it started. I was like, this could be bad, and it's not to take away from like his skills as a filmmaker, but sometimes it just gets in the way. But it did sometimes, but I mean, I could see why if someone watched this, they'd be like, let's give this guy a bit more money, and that's probably not what happened.
Totally.
He probably had to fucking grind for ages to get the money he needed, but it definitely shows promise.
Absolutely, and it's one of those things where, I mean, I have watched almost all of Mike Flanagan's work now.
Yeah.
And then to go back and watch his very first proper production is hard. It's not an easy thing. So it's trying to view it through that lens rather than than just its base. I made a movie.
Yeah.
And as that, like as a first Mike Flanagan movie, you can see where some of his stuff comes through. You know, but you can also see his downfalls, that he was a journeyman movie maker at that point. He's probably just come out of college and is going to, like, I want to make a movie. You know, it was probably a toss of a coin that this gets any sort of release, or he just makes it, and that is his, you know, CV work.
I didn't rate this. Now, the reason why I didn't rate it, we had an unfortunate situation with the food delivery, and we were doing a tight schedule. But I did feel like I'd seen enough of it to get an opinion. No, I didn't, because I didn't give it a rating. I felt like I don't want to give it a rating because, hey, it contributes to its overall rating on IMDb. But if you push me, I'd say probably a 6.
Yeah.
I'd say. And there are some really good moments in it. Really good. Enough.
Oh yeah,
and you do, and if you've got tolerance for this kind of low budget thing, even if I mean, our tolerance isn't fucking amazing, but it kind of you can almost forget. There's still moments when it's like, God, this framing, you know, I don't know. There's just,
and especially
the
some of the actors and performances can
vary wildly.
Yeah, exactly.
The detectives in it are like, Jesus Christ.
Yes.
These family friends, but the central sisters are totally fine. They're good. But
have really good scenes together.
The incidental characters, I mean, sometimes I think
very hit or miss.
You just have guys that work on your film because, hey, you're available, or you're my mate. I'm gonna just overlook this. So whatever.
Totally. I'd probably say a 6. If something similar was released now, I would probably look at this and go, I'm interested to see what this guy does.
Yeah.
And I love all his other stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely a curio, and if you are into Mike Flanagan, as a lot of people are, it's seek it
Yeah,
out.
we very much would not have watched this movie if we weren't fans
No.
of Mike Flanagan.
No, but I'm sure retrospectively it's possibly got a bit more attention because it's his. Because I'm sure.
Yes.
You know, and we're one of these sheep that go, hey, what else has this guy done? Let's watch this.
Yep.
We're interesting, damn it. Right, next up, Barbarian. Good luck us talking about this film without spoiling it.
Without spoiling it, yeah.
A woman staying at an Airbnb discovers that the house she has rented is not what it seems. That's it.
Yeah.
Barbarian.
So on to the next movie.
So that woman is Georgina Campbell. Bill Skarsgård and Justin Long are the other two main actors in it. That's not a spoiler because the trailer for this movie was a Justin Long movie, and it was just the shots. It was just footage of him like carefree on the highway for most of it. It was very well done. So this movie is fucking pretty weird, I'd say.
Yeah. That's a good way to do it. That's definitely fair.
It's set in Detroit. It is actually Detroit, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. And Detroit is very much part of the character of it. There's a lot of your good old miserable shots of Detroit's degradation throughout the years.
Yep.
It's... But, oh God, I'm running out of ways to talk about it without spoiling it. I really am. It's got some funnies. Justin Long's very good in it.
It uses its comedy very well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true actually. So the comedy is really Justin Long's area, which is good because he's a comedian, and his character has some really funny moments. The rest of the movie's not really about that. It's more when he's on screen. Sometimes he cracks some believable jokes. Does that make sense?
Yes. No, totally. It basically allows the movie to have a bit of a resting period.
Yeah.
And that is vital for the essentially two halves of this movie. He does a fantastic job.
Yeah,
like
he
really
does.
great job.
It really does.
I would even say, there's not a performance in here that I thought was bad. At all.
No, but he's really fucking good. Give
he
this man an
steals the
award,
show.
damn it!
Yeah, I know.
And it's a fucking brave performance, which you kept saying.
Yes, very brave performance.
Oh,
but yeah, I mean, this is probably the movie that I could talk most about.
But you need to wait for people to see it, unfortunately.
Exactly. No, it's one that we may, if we decide to, we might come back to one day and just chat about.
Spoiler one, I definitely want to watch it again.
Because it's, I'll go for my rating. I between an 8 and a 9.
I went 9.
Yeah, which is totally fair rating. This movie is very good.
Yeah, it's very good.
It has a lot of very prevalent themes that are right there but aren't shoved down your throat. And even when they are a bit more explicit, they fit within the context of what is happening in the movie. It is not just said for the sake of being said in case... because the movie thinks you're a moron and doesn't get the social commentary in it. It is very much like, this is part of the story. Bill Skarsgård is great. Georgina Campbell is great. Mm-hmm. Justin Long is great. And it's got an appearance from Richard Brake, who, it's Richard Brake, man.
Who? Come on,
you sicken me. Richard Brake is the chemist from Mandy. He was the original Night King from Game of Thrones.
Sorry, yes. I forgot about him. Yes.
Joe Chill from Batman Begins.
This movie was written and directed by one of the whitest kids you know. That's weird, isn't it? Because it doesn't seem like he's done anything else. He was just an actor in TV and film, including the whitest kids you know. And then he made this, which seems... I
don't even know what the whitest kids you know is.
It's like a comedy thing.
Right, comedy troupe.
Yes. And I think he was in other sitcoms. He was in something called Wrecked. What's Wrecked? Wrecked is an American sitcom. So he's just a sitcom guy, and then he made this. So it's like, fucking hell. I'd be interested to see what his next movie is, because it's either going to be amazing or fucking dog shit.
I mean, it's not the first movie we've watched from a primarily comedic presence. Possum is another one that pops to mind of, this guy's done comedy all his life. Then he made a horror movie and absolutely fucking nailed it.
To be fair, he did horror-themed comedy, whereas this fucking guy is just gone, hey,
it's like bro comedy. I mean, they're called the whitest kids you know. I'm assuming it's a lot of bro comedy.
But I mean, Christ, maybe the next Jordan Peele, but without all the.
But the whitest Jordan Peele you know.
Yeah, can I say that? I don't know, but I have. God
you have.
Damn it.
I'm not editing it now.
So that's Barbarian. I'd urge you to watch it, and I can't tell you why. Don't look up anything about it. I tend to not, but it's one of these films that comes out. One time a year, a film will come out and everyone will be like, "Don't fucking look anything up." But I would definitely say,
and this is that movie. Yes, absolutely. That movie. The less you know going in, the more fun you'll have with it.
Yep. Second last, Deadstream. A disgraced internet personality attempts to win back his followers by live streaming one night alone in a haunted house. But when he accidentally pisses off a vengeful spirit, his big comeback event becomes a real-time fight for his life. Deadstream.
Yep, Deadstream is it's not really a found footage, because the footage isn't found. But it is in that style.
But the opening joke plays on that. But it does. It is. So, it's a take on found footage, which was very refreshing after watching Hellhouse, to be honest.
Yes.
It leans really hard into live streaming. You've got. I watch a lot of Twitch. You've watched Twitch on many an occasion. You've got comments shown a lot that comment on what's happening. The setup's believable. It really is it leans right hard into what it's trying to go for, and it does it very well, I'd say. It's as much comedy as horror.
Yes,
it's definitely scary. It's definitely got scares.
Yeah, or it's definitely like, and that's what is very impressive about this, is that this is a movie where there were genuine laughs. Genuinely actual laughs, as well as moments that full on go horror and are pretty well done. Creepy, spooky, give you a jump. It all works really well. Written and directed by a husband-wife team. Yep.
And the main star is the husband.
The husband.
And it's mostly a one-man show the whole time. He does it very well. He's not supposed to be likable. No. Really. But it's a funny line to tread when you're trying to... I mean, if something's genuinely scary, a lot of time you've got to feel a bit of empathy for someone. And you do feel empathy for him, but he's also a fucking dickhead. Because he's a YouTube personality live streamer, and most of them are fucking...
A disgraced YouTube personality live streamer.
Yeah. And most of them are fucking dickheads anyway, so...
No, this movie knows exactly what it wanted to do and pretty much executed it with perfection. I'm gonna push Barbarian to a 9 because I want to give this an 8.
Well, I give this a 9 too, because I don't live by your rules, bitch.
Okay.
But it's with the asterisk that
there's no asterisk on mine, Donald.
When I say 9, well, to be fair, when I say 9, it is basically for what you said. If I had to be objective and say, hey, out of these two movies, which one do you want to preserve in a museum? I would be like, well, Barbarian, obviously. Yeah. Deadstream's just
and you don't give movies 10s.
A frothy slice of good time horror. But I mean, I would, like you say, it does everything it should do. It gives you laughs and scares, and I would thoroughly recommend it to anyone that's interested in either of those things, or even just people that like Twitch and YouTube streaming, because it's great.
Yeah, this is genuinely a movie where I would just be like, yeah, this is fun. Yeah. This is a fun movie. I like, if you could handle a base level of scares, go and watch this movie. That's it. Like, it's fun, it's funny, it's spooky, it's well acted, the effects are really good. No, it was great the whole way through. It's got a real Evil Dead feel to it at times. Yeah. And that only benefits it. Yeah. This movie is great.
It really reminded me of Resident Evil 7 as well. Which is the first person viewpoint, and there are it's just certain imagery that's just very reminiscent of that game for some reason.
Yeah, no, that's
not for
fair.
some reason. You'd fucking know. But I don't want to go into it. All right, so that was Deadstream. Last, Smile. After witnessing a bizarre, traumatic incident involving a patient, Dr. Rose Cotter starts experiencing frightening occurrences that she can't explain. Rose must confront her troubling past in order to survive and escape her horrifying new reality. Smile. I would never have watched Smile if it didn't get positive buzz, because the trailer for it reminded me of Truth or Dare, when the people have the funny smiley faces. We both watched Truth or Dare, and the trailer for this one kind of had the same, and it just seemed like one of those goofy, they're doing funny faces at me. It just didn't really, to me anyway, it didn't really convey much. And also, it was fucking advertised everywhere. It was like on the sides of buses and shit. It made tons of money, and it just seemed like Truth or Dare, but Smile, they're smiling. But what this
Quick question, is this the 2012 horror film Truth or Dare, the 2013 horror film Truth or Dare, the 2017 horror film Truth or Dare, or the 2018 horror film Truth or Dare?
Who knows? Let's see. Is it?
I'm going to assume it's the 2018 Blumhouse picture.
Yes, yes. And if you go to images, they are smiling. It's the same. It's basically the same effect. It is done better this movie, but it's exactly the same effect. But the trailer didn't really convey what this is. So really, it's much more like It Follows. It's basically about a malevolent presence, and it's more about menace, really. It had some very spooky moments. The story was okay. I think what I did really like it. I think what I really liked about it was it doesn't really give you much lore to go with. The main character, she's quite sympathetic, and she tries to, do something about her predicament. But it's kind of like, well, what the fuck? Well, what the fuck's happening to me? Kind of thing. She kind of she gets a grip of what's happening to her, and she's like, well, what the fuck am I going to do? Kind of thing. And she tries, but it's just so malevolent. Like the entity in it, which doesn't really get personified except with smiles most of the time, anyway, is it just seemed very effective to me. I don't know. I really felt a sense of menace from it that a lot of these movies would. I mean, Truth or Dare 2018 would fucking love to give that kind of menace, but it didn't go anywhere near it. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this one.
Yeah, it does a lot of little moments where what you think's happening turns out to not be, and not in just the straight up, it's a dream. It's like you think that it is, without giving it too much away, it is very much, it subverts your expectations scene to scene a lot of the time. I thought this was a really good movie. It is the movie with the most names in it, which was just surprising. Quite a few people pop up. Cal Penn, Judy Reyes from Scrubs, Jesse T. Usher from The Boys, Susie Bacon, Kevin Bacon's daughter.
Kevin Bacon's daughter. I was waiting for her notable credit, but I don't fucking know it. Them two together were very good. Jesse and Saucy.
Yes.
Because Jesse's like confronted by his wife talking madness, and he's like, no. I mean, the relationship's slightly on the rocks, and then and it's like it just feeds into their kind of distance from each other in a bad way. And I also thought that was very well done and believable.
And on both sides, where there are moments where you're looking at him going, oh, come on, dude, you're being a dickhead, and then you look at her in moments and you're like, no, he's trying to help, what are you doing? Like, it really does. There is no like, oh, the husband's just dismissive and blah blah. It's not that clear cut. This is like a relationship that is happening.
Which is weird, because the central menace is so fucking weird.
And it's got Kyle Gallner in it, and he's been getting more and more work ever since we saw him in The Cleansing Hour, and he's good. It's weird because you don't see him as the usual horror movie guy, but he has played a variety of very different roles.
Yeah.
While always looking like Kyle Gallner.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this movie. I felt that the ending, and I'm obviously not going to go into any spoilers, but I felt the ending was far too textbook horror movie, and could have actually done more with what it was trying to do throughout the whole thing to wrap it up. Not saying it has to be in a nice, neat little package, but I just feel it goes like, we're a horror movie and we have to finish it this way. But no, I really enjoyed it. I would give it... I'm very swithery today. 7 or an 8.
I'm just more generous than you. I gave it an 8. So every time you're like, oh,
You're
this or that, I'm always that.
Which is rare, because usually when I'm swithering, you usually go for the lower one.
Yeah, it really was, the sense of dread was done very well. And I feel like a lot of time it's very hard for these movies to pull off. And I'm sure that's slightly influenced by the fact that I went into it. Well, I didn't know it was supposed to be good, but my initial impressions were literally slagging off that trailer and that poster and being like, that looks like hot dog shit garbage. Because I remember Truth or Dare. And for it to be so successful at depicting this like fucking horrific situation, honestly, and I think it's just the menace. It's just so menace. It's not like the thing in it, which is just kind of like, most of the time it's just totally abstract. It just fucking loves fucking with you. It's just done really well. Like it really feels fucking horrible.
And there's those moments where even when you feel that they're getting a slight upper hand, and that subverts it, and just makes the character feel worse. And even more helpless. It's a really well done movie.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of times when movies try to go for that thing of, this thing's really evil, sometimes it's just so fucking lame. Like,
because they spend so much time because they're not talented is probably a bit harsh, but but genuinely
they just don't accomplish it the same way.
They don't have those technical skills, whether that be writing, editing, filming, effects, whatever. They have to just shove it in your face and tell you just how evil this thing is. See Halloween Ends.
I hope it doesn't get a sequel. It probably will, because it dump truck of money. I think it made $200 million of $5 million or something ridiculous. And also,
this is just off the top of my head, but I think it cost 17 to make. And the box office was 216 million, so it made about $200 million.
Oh well, there you go.
Pure, obviously,
it
had a much bigger advertising than something like Barbarian. Which is obviously going to feed into that budget. But no way did they spend 200 million. Advertising a $17 million movie.
They've made dump
this
trucks
movie
of
was a
money.
huge success.
And unfortunately, the nature of the central conceit means it's totally rife for a sequel, and they'll probably shit one out, or they'll over-explain the menacing entity, and I don't want them to do that, because that's why it's effective. So we're on the precipice of horrible sequel hell here, but when Smiler comes out, or Smiles, I'll watch it. I'll watch it. You've got me.
I like Smiles. I really like Smiles as the follow-up.
It's not going to be Smile 2. Smiled. I've said smile too much now. It's like one of these words that doesn't have any meaning anymore.
It's very much like It Follows, where...
Which never got a sequel, and that was really successful, so there's hope.
But they have been talking about a sequel ever since It Follows. Ever since It Follows came out, they have talked about doing a sequel that goes more into the origin of the monster.
I hate that.
Ambiguity can be really good.
The reason why Truth or Dare was shit, spoilers for Truth or Dare, it's not even that spoilers, is because it was like an old Incan curse or something, and it was like they broke a pot. I don't know. It was some fucking bullshit, and you got no right away. So it's like, well, okay, this is dumb. So anyway. If
you're going to do it one of two ways. Do it like Evil Dead, where, hey, they read from an evil, but like very straight up, here's the point, and we're off.
Yeah.
Or do it like Smile, where it's just this ambiguity. Like, I can accept that these people live in a world where ghosts exist. Yeah. I don't have to have the full backstory of the ghost. Or the malevolent spirit, or the demon, or the.
Yeah.
I didn't need Pinhead to be a World War I guy.
Yeah, to be fair, that's part of the world building of that sequel goes. Yeah, who cares?
Yeah. What Hellraiser does, both in its older, like Hellraiser 2 and in the new one, is it goes just enough. It gives you a broader idea of this world. Yeah. It doesn't go into the nitty gritty of exactly what every little thing is.
I mean, the best part of Hellraiser 2 was Leviathan, which is still unknowable, and you don't have any explanation for what it is.
Yeah,
it's just another menacing, horrible thing. Funny you mentioned Evil Dead because it's getting another sequel.
Obviously. Wait, another sequel?
Evil Dead Rise. I don't know if it's. I think it's
because I know there's a sequel to Evil Dead coming out. Are you saying that it's getting another one after that?
No, but I don't think that's really a sequel. I think that's just another. I think they did the remake. They didn't do a sequel to that because they were going to do a sequel that joins the old Evil Dead and the new Evil Dead together.
No,
they scrapped all that. I think this is just a movie set in Evil Dead.
Right.
I don't think it's got anything to do.
It's name recognition more. You could call this the spooky house in the woods, and people, and it would be the same movie.
Some kids will find the book and read it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how the book got there. Bruce Campbell will probably be in it.
It wasn't in the last one.
Yeah, I know, but
yeah, very much of like it's it seems more name recognition to at least get people interested in it, which fine, whatever.
Oh, I'll be watching it.
Oh yeah,
but
look out for that in her 2023.
I will not be able to wait that long. It's out in April. You know, the spooky month.
Woo!
When Jesus arose, right?
What?
That's it.
Yeah, that was movies,
and we only forgot one each, so that's good.
Yeah, that is, I mean, to be honest, that's quite impressive for both of us.
And none of them were bad. Not a one. They were all at least totally worth a watch, and
all
there's
palatable.
Some real good, strong movies.
I might edit this out, but we did have one other movie. We watched David Cronenberg's new movie, and we turned it off because we were so goddamn bored.
That's not true.
Is it not?
No. Someone got very sickened.
Oh, that is true. Someone did. I will edit this out then.
Someone got very sickened by the general concept of surgery. So, and unfortunately, that's what that movie's about. So we turned it off.
Yeah. It's also a very quiet, talky movie, and it was the first one of the night.
I probably wouldn't watch it again, to be honest.
This is all getting cut anyway.
Yeah, it's fine. I was like, I'll go back to it. So, next time, which hopefully will be soon, we'll be covering the Peter Strickland double bill of Barbarian Sound Studio and In Fabric, which I did mention last episode as being one of the two things we could do. So, still the plan to do that at some point.
We have driven all the way back to good old Blighty to watch our Halloween movies, so we might as well stick around and watch some good old Blighty movies.
Oh, God. You sound very Daily Mail right now. Anyway, but that's us. So we're not in a caravan. We're just in the house because we're at home. So
yeah, it's parked outside. It's great. I'm sleeping in a bed.
Oh dear, and we're gonna have some fucking Red Bull before Halloween-a-thon 2023.
You are,
or you just have to record.
I just have to remember it.
I'm gonna get your voice recorder, and you can record like 20 seconds of your opinion. Then you can play it back and be like, "Who is this man?"
I honestly feel. I honestly feel that if I had known we were going to do, and fair enough, my fault that I should.
Bollocks! I'm gonna dig out the message when I said we were gonna do this.
No, it was like I'm sure that I should have realized that we were going to do this because we do it every year. Yeah, but It was very much a like, oh, those movies were fun out of my head. The ones that I wasn't, I had my absolute favorites from it that really stuck with me, and then you told me I had to remember things.
When did I tell you? You messaged me on the 2nd saying, when are we doing the Halloween episode? Which means I must have told you before. I'm suspicious.
Yeah, he always is.
Anyway, it's fine. I'll let it go.
Yeah, he's going to go scrolling through all these messages to find...
No, it's fine. I'll let
his
things
vindication.
go. I'll let it go. But we're going to do a Halloween episode next year.
Yes.
And hopefully, this was a very strong year, I'd say. Like,
it was,
a lot of great movies in the September, October time. So.
Yeah, this was a very good year for Halloween movies. And hey, I think our next special episode will probably be Fright Fest 23.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm really getting myself amped up for that one.
Very nice. March, innit?
Something like that. But we'll be back before then with...
hopefully.
I was about to say David Fincher, and it's definitely not him.
Peter Strickland.
Peter Strickland.
Barbarian Sound Studio and In Fabric. See you then.
Bye.